Listen closely. The most dangerous connections are the quiet ones, the ones where nothing is said, yet everything is felt. There is a moment that happens before love is confessed, before desire is named, before anyone is brave enough to risk rejection. It's the moment where two people begin living inside a tension that feels electric and unbearable at the same time. And if you're here, it's because you're already inside that moment. You feel it in the pauses, in the way conversations linger longer than necessary, in the thoughts that return to the same person, no matter how hard you try to redirect them. The first psychological sign you both have feelings, but no one admits it, is this emotional mirroring. You don't just talk, you echo each other. When you pull back, she pulls back. When you open up slightly, she does the same. Just enough to stay safe. This isn't coincidence. It's the subconscious mind protecting itself while still reaching for connection. Women especially mirror emotional depth before they mirror physical desire. If she reflects your moods, your energy, your seriousness, and even your silence, she is emotionally tuned to you in a way that goes far beyond friendliness. You might notice she remembers small details you never thought mattered. The way you take your coffee, the story you mentioned once and never repeated, the frustration in your voice when you talked about something you care about. Memory is emotional currency. The brain only stores what the heart flags as important. When she holds on to pieces of you like that, it's because part of her already sees you as significant, even if her mouth refuses to confirm it. Another sign hides in restraint. This one confuses men the most. If a woman has feelings but isn't ready to admit them, she won't chase you recklessly, she'll do the opposite. She'll restrain herself. She'll pause before texting. She'll choose safer topics instead of the ones that reveal too much. She'll hesitate right at the edge of vulnerability. This isn't disinterest. This is self-control battling desire. Women are taught consciously and unconsciously that showing too much too soon risks losing power. So instead of running toward you, she slows herself down, hoping you don't disappear while she figures out what she's feeling. You feel this restraint as mixed signals. Warm one day, distant the next. Engaged, then guarded. And here's the uncomfortable truth most men never hear. Inconsistency is often the sound of someone fighting their own emotions. If she truly felt nothing, there would be no internal conflict. Indifference is simple. Feelings are not. There's also the way tension fills the space between you. Silence doesn't feel empty. It feels loaded. Eye contact lasts a second too long, then breaks suddenly. Jokes carry an undertone. Compliments are indirect, wrapped in humor or casual comments. This is emotional leakage. When feelings aren't allowed out through words, they escape through tone, timing, and body language. And deep down, you sense it. Your intuition keeps whispering that something is unfinished here. That this connection isn't accidental. That there's a conversation waiting to happen. Even if neither of you is ready to start it yet, this stage is fragile. Handle it with awareness, not ego. Because what's unspoken can either deepen into something powerful or dissolve into regret if mishandled. Now let's talk about the second sign, a subtle, almost invisible language that only the most observant men catch. Protective instinct. When someone has feelings but doesn't admit them, they instinctively guard you. Not in a controlling way, but in a way that quietly shows they care more than they'll ever say aloud. It's the little things. Checking if you made it home. Safely, remembering your plans, noticing your mood swings, and adjusting their behavior without a word. She won't call it love or even admit it to herself, but her mind is constantly calculating ways to shield you from harm, disappointment, or discomfort. You might think she's just being considerate, but there's a difference between casual kindness and the kind that silently prioritizes you above herself. Women are hardwired to notice danger, and when she's feeling something for you, she unconsciously wants to protect you, even if she fears showing it would make her vulnerable. That's why she notices patterns you don't even realize you're revealing. The late nights, the stress, the things you brush off. She notices because she cares, but she won't call it what it is. Then there's the testing, which often goes unnoticed by men. When feelings are unspoken, women test boundaries in small, almost imperceptible ways. She might joke about how you feel, ask questions that seem casual but carry deeper meaning, or see how you react to emotional topics. These tests aren't manipulations. They're methods of understanding your intentions without exposing her own heart. When a woman likes you but won't admit it, she's mapping your responses, measuring safety, and determining if vulnerability can survive without shame or rejection. Another psychological sign is the intensity of your shared moments. It's not the number of dates or the length of conversations. It's the quality of emotional engagement. Look for the pauses where words fail, where glances linger, where laughter has an undercurrent you can't quite place. These moments aren't coincidences. Your brains are communicating in ways words can't capture yet, syncing on an emotional wavelength that neither of you may have consciously acknowledged. The intensity doesn't feel like obligation or performance. It feels electric, unsettling, and undeniably alive. Watch, also, how she behaves around others. When feelings are hidden, subtle differences appear in how she treats you versus everyone else. A light touch lingers a moment longer. Her laughter hits a different pitch. Her body subtly aligns with yours, even in group settings. These micro-signals aren't accidental. They are the silent language of connection. And when paired with emotional restraint, they reveal someone who's fighting with themselves just to be near you. And here's the kicker. She'll often project her feelings onto hypothetical situations rather than reality. What if someone did this? Or imagine if these aren't idle thoughts. They're thought experiments. Safe ways for her to explore her emotions without openly admitting them. A man unaware of female psychology might miss the depth of what's being communicated. But if you pay attention, you'll notice the pattern. Her imagination is tracing lines toward you, even while her lips refuse to speak your name. So when you feel this quiet intensity, the protective gestures, the testing, and the subtle yet electric energy, it's not imagined. It's real, hidden beneath layers of social conditioning, fear, and the protective instincts of the heart. And here's the truth most men overlook. The strongest, most magnetic connections often exist in silence before they are ever admitted. It's in this space, in this tension, where real attraction and emotional investment quietly take root. Do you feel it? That invisible gravity between the two of you, that pull that words can't capture. That's where the story begins, before confession, before vulnerability, before the raw, honest truth of what you both feel. And it's only here in this unspoken limbo that you can truly start to understand her mind and your own. Now, let's dive into the third psychological sign, the one most men fail to recognize because it hides behind normal conversation. Emotional overexposure. When someone has feelings but refuses to admit them, they often reveal more than they intend without even realizing it. Think about the way she talks about her life, her fears, her small victories, or even her disappointments. She lets you in just enough to build intimacy, to test whether you can handle the real her, but stop short of full disclosure. This is not carelessness. It's a deliberate subconscious balancing act between desire and self-protection. Notice the moments when she shares deeply personal details. Not just the fun stories or surface-level confessions, but the things that reveal her inner world, her values, or the way she experiences life. If she trusts you enough to expose fragments of her authentic self, even while holding back the most vulnerable truths, it's a sign of emotional alignment. She is revealing pieces of her psyche that she rarely allows anyone to see. Because in her mind, revealing too much could mean risking her emotional safety. Yet, she can't resist letting these glimpses slip through for you. You'll see it in laughter, too. Genuine, unrestrained laughter is one thing, but the subtle moments of nervous, self-conscious laughter are another. When someone has feelings, their nervous energy manifests in ways that aren't fully conscious. She might tease you, deflect serious conversation with humor, or laugh in ways that feel too loud or slightly off-timed. This is emotional leakage, her way of communicating attraction and vulnerability without explicitly saying it. Men often dismiss it as playfulness or coincidence, but it's a psychological fingerprint of unspoken desire. Physical proximity is also part of this sign. She might not overtly touch you, but she'll position herself closer than necessary, lean into your space during conversation, or orient her body subtly toward you, even in a crowded room. These are instinctive behaviors. The body often communicates what the lips cannot. The subconscious mind craves connection, and when feelings exist without acknowledgement, the body becomes the messenger, revealing a truth that words refuse to capture. Then there's the emotional recall. She remembers the small things. Your favorite song, a book you once mentioned, the exact phrasing you used in a vulnerable moment. Why? Because she's emotionally invested. The human brain prioritizes the emotionally significant. And when a woman unconsciously catalogs your quirks and patterns, she's signaling an attachment that even she might not admit yet. These little recollections are breadcrumbs pointing to the feelings she cannot verbalize. And here's where men trip up. Subtle jealousy. She won't admit to it. She might even hide it behind indifference or humor, but you can feel it in micro moments. When other women interact with you, there's a shift. Slight, almost imperceptible, but noticeable if you're paying attention. Her emotions flare beneath the surface even while her words remain neutral. Jealousy in this context isn't insecurity, it's proof of investment, a silent acknowledgement of her feelings without confrontation. Finally, notice the depth of your conversations. It's not about how many hours you talk, it's about how layered the dialogue is. She engages in topics that go beyond small talk, dipping into morality, personal growth, dreams, or hypothetical scenarios that reveal values and emotional priorities. The topics are chosen unconsciously to build connection, to measure resonance, and to test emotional compatibility without outright disclosure. The truth is, emotional overexposure, when paired with restraint and subtle protective gestures, is a hallmark of unspoken feelings. It's a delicate dance of attraction and fear, desire and self-preservation. And if you learn to read these cues, these small, almost invisible signals, you'll understand more about her heart than she might ever admit aloud. The unspoken is often louder than the spoken, and the pieces she lets you see are deliberate invitations into a world she's not ready to voice. Do you see it? The moments when she lets her walls slip just for you. That's where the hidden feelings live, quietly powerful, waiting for recognition. Now we come to the fourth psychological sign, the one that hits hardest because it lives in contradiction. The push and pull of attention. When someone has feelings but won't admit them, they exist in a constant state of emotional tension, oscillating between closeness and distance. One moment, she's fully engaged, laughing, sharing, leaning into your energy. The next, she's distant, reserved, almost unreachable. This back and forth is confusing, yes, but it's also profoundly revealing. It's her way of navigating vulnerability without surrendering completely. You might try to rationalize it. She must be hot and cold because she's indecisive or she's just playing games. But that's a surface-level read. In reality, she is wrestling with her own emotions, balancing fear of rejection against the undeniable pull toward you. Every retreat is a protective measure, every approach and unconscious invitation. The energy she emits is magnetic because it's charged with unspoken desire and self-preservation at the same time. Men often perceive inconsistency as lack of interest, but the truth is far more complex and far more powerful. Look closely at her attention. It's not about frequency, but intensity. When she gives it, she's fully present. Her eyes lock with yours longer than casual conversation allows. Her words carry layered meaning. She remembers your moods, your stories, the subtle shifts in your tone. And when she withdraws, it isn't because she doesn't care. It's because she's testing whether you value the connection enough to bridge the gap. She wants to see if the bond you share is strong enough to survive tension without collapse. Notice how she communicates when she does reach out. It's often indirect, almost coded. A message that seems casual, a joke that hints at deeper understanding, a shared memory mentioned seemingly in passing. These are all forms of connection without confrontation. When feelings are real but unadmitted, the mind finds creative ways to maintain intimacy while keeping the heart shielded. Men who recognize this code can see through the facade and understand what others dismiss as mixed signals. The push and pull also manifests in physical proximity. She may draw near in conversation, then step back as if testing the boundaries. She might initiate contact, touching your arm, leaning into your space, brushing against your shoulder, but withdraw before it becomes too revealing. These micro-movements are loaded with meaning. They're not accidental. They're subconscious expressions of desire, struggling against self-protection. They tell you more than words ever could. There's also the tension in conversation topics. She may flirt with emotional depth, then abruptly switch to humor or neutral subjects. She brings up personal fears, ambitions, or dreams, but retreats when the discussion edges too close to vulnerability. These patterns are her mind's way of calibrating the emotional risk. She's giving you a glimpse, gauging your reaction, and measuring whether it's safe to go deeper. Every shift in tone, every change in posture, every pause carries intention. Subtle, yet powerful. And the most important detail, notice how her actions align with her words. Even when she says, "I don't care" or "it's nothing," her energy contradicts her speech. She invests time, attention, and emotional bandwidth in ways that speak louder than any denial. This discrepancy is where the truth lives. The mind may lie, the lips may deny, but behavior rarely does. If you can read this tension, this magnetic oscillation, you gain access to the hidden architecture of her emotions. You'll see not just what she wants, but what she fears, and how deeply she's already connected to you. The push and pull is not chaos. It's a window into the heart, showing you the invisible thread that ties the two of you together, even when neither of you admits it aloud. Ask yourself, do you feel it? That invisible tether stretching and contracting, pulling you closer while testing your awareness. That's the heartbeat of unspoken feelings, the secret rhythm guiding every glance, every word, every movement. It's subtle, it's powerful, and it's unmistakably real. Finally, let's explore the most profound sign of all, the one that exists beyond words, beyond gestures, beyond conscious thought. The silent emotional alignment. This is when two people feel each other's moods, desires, and thoughts almost instinctively, as if some invisible wire connects their hearts. It's the uncanny sense that she knows what you're feeling before you speak it. The way her laughter or sigh seems perfectly timed to your energy. The subtle shifts in tone that resonate with your own unspoken emotions. This alignment is impossible to fake. It only exists when two minds are tuned to each other, even when neither admits the depth of their feelings. You notice it in decision and timing. She intuitively knows when to reach out and when to retreat. She senses the moments when you need support without asking. And she mirrors your emotional pace almost seamlessly. There's a rhythm to your interactions, an unspoken choreography that feels both familiar and electric. Men often mistake this for coincidence, but this level of emotional synchronization doesn't happen by chance. It is the invisible marker of connection that has already begun to root itself in the heart. Then there's the instinctive concern for your well-being. She may not say, "I care about you like this," but her actions betray her thoughts. Whether it's remembering something important to you, offering help without being asked, or quietly observing when something seems off, she prioritizes your comfort and happiness at a subconscious level. This isn't transactional or performative. It's instinctual. When a woman feels deeply but refuses to admit it, her protective instincts are magnified, and she acts as though your emotional state is her responsibility, even if she never labels it love. Another subtle indicator is her energy around you, how it fluctuates based on your presence. When you're nearby, her mood brightens, her laughter feels lighter. Her gestures carry a softness and warmth absent with others. When you're distant, even for a short time, there's a subtle withdrawal in her energy, almost like the air itself changes. These micro shifts are powerful psychological signals. They reflect the truth of her feelings without ever requiring verbal acknowledgement. Her heart speaks through her behavior, and it speaks loudly. Finally, consider how she integrates you into her internal world without explicit permission. When she talks about hypothetical scenarios, dreams, or even future plans, she includes you. Sometimes casually, sometimes subconsciously. Imagine if we did this, or I wish someone like you could. These statements are not random. They are mental invitations. Her mind exploring the possibility of you together while her lips stay silent. She is emotionally rehearsing a connection that exists even if neither of you has admitted it. At this stage, clarity exists in paradox. Feelings are fully present, yet unspoken. Connection is undeniable, yet unacknowledged. Recognizing this allows you to understand her psychology deeply. You start to see the truth in the pauses, in the silences, in the subtleties that everyone else overlooks. You understand that connection doesn't always need confession to be real, and that the most powerful bonds often grow strongest in the spaces between words. Now, here's something for you. Think about your connection with her. If you were to assign a number to the intensity of your unspoken bond from 1 to 10, what would it be? Write it in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend who needs to hear this, because understanding these hidden truths could change everything about how you navigate relationships.